Breaking tonight, a shooting in a Costco parking lot sends a man to the hospital. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maggie Newland. And fire damaged a home in Durham after firefighters say a man fell asleep while frying French fries. Trees uprooted, homes damaged. Tonight, people across our state are cleaning up after storms swept through our area Friday. We could hear lots of cheering here in our very own newsroom.
That is true.
And I'm sure you know who else heard a bunch of cheering, I have no doubt. CBS 17 Zach Dahlheimer live in downtown Raleigh at Tobacco Road Sports Cafe. And Zach, I can only imagine we can see how the mood is out there. Every update tonight has come from the school's Twitter feed. 10 minutes ago, you see this. Remaining occupants of UNC Charlotte campus buildings may depart at this time. And we do want to remind you, you can check school closings and delays on our website. We have one coming in right now from UNC Chapel Hill that semester exams for tomorrow, with the exception of professional schools, are postponed. So those semester exams will not take place tomorrow. They'll be rescheduled. She's in therapy 5 days a week, 4 hours a day. She was going to make this work, and just to see how far she's come and how that attitude, that determination hasn't changed, it is absolutely incredible.
It's been about 3 months since the surgery. So Deb, tell us how you're doing, how your life has changed since then.
This RV you see here had its lights knocked off. You can see the car with the windshield shattered. There's glass inside the car as well. These two vehicles both have dents. That child was taken to the hospital and is in serious condition tonight. A lot of people here very distraught. Police literally just left the scene within the last few minutes. There are many ways to become a mother: through birth, adoption, the blending of families. Tonight, as we celebrate all kinds of moms, we introduce you to Megan, a nurse practitioner from Durham who is celebrating her first Mother's Day with her son. The Jewish community stands together after a deadly mass shooting in California. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Maggie Newland.
Hello.
And breaking tonight, the rabbi injured in the synagogue shooting just spoke this evening at a news conference. He says the woman who died, Lori Kay, jumped between the shooter and him. She died at the hospital.
I see Lori laying there. Mommy, what's going on? This is the most heart-wrenching sight.
Tough to hear. Investigators are searching for more evidence and clues following that attack at a synagogue just north of San Diego. As you heard, a woman died. 3 other people were hurt. A suspect has been charged with murder in the shootings. Jonathan Vigliotti is outside the synagogue with the latest. Wayne County Public Schools has become the latest district to cancel classes May 1st. Tens of thousands of teachers are preparing to rally in downtown Raleigh on Wednesday.
That's right.
Thank you, Kelly. And of course, you can stay with CBS 17 leading up to the rally. We will have live coverage throughout the march and rally, all starting at 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. And fire damaged a home in Durham after firefighters say a man fell asleep while frying French fries. The fire damaged the kitchen, attic, and roof of the home on Duke Homestead Road. Firefighters say a smoke alarm woke the man about 3 a.m. No one was hurt, but the people who live in that home cannot stay there. And police are working to figure out who shot a man in Fayetteville. Officers were called to Colonial Drive just before 3 this morning. That man is expected to recover. Police have not announced any arrests and do not believe the shooting was random. There is no danger or threat to the public and no need to take action. Yes, we could hear lots of cheering here in our very own newsroom.
That is true.
And I'm sure you know who else heard a bunch of cheering, I have no doubt. CBS 17 Zach Dahlheimer live in downtown Raleigh at Tobacco Road Sports Cafe. And Zach, I can only imagine we can see how the mood is out there. Hundreds of people came out to Durham Central Park this afternoon to celebrate Earth Day. The free event featured live music, a parade, and some environmental education, too. Jessica Jones says it's her family's second year attending the event, and what she likes most is learning about the free services the county offers to make life more sustainable. Our very own Bill Ray emceed the event. And Bill, it was about as perfect a day to be outside as you could have asked for, wasn't it? Can you imagine having 6? I have enough trouble with.
Well, and the paparazzi out there all day long taking pictures.
We like watching
paparazzi for the Wolves.
Maggie had exclusive access to the surgery that made medical history in our state.
Deb Kelly's world was one adventure after another. Her 2 favorite things, travel and spending time with people she loves.
I have cousins up in Massachusetts, and we have cousins in Virginia. I have friends in Florida.
Very little slowed her down, so she didn't think twice when she started feeling a little off.
Easter Sunday of 2017, That evening I was not feeling well. I think I was kind of battling a little bit of a cold.
We thought maybe you were dehydrated, maybe it was the flu. We really had no idea. And that was 9 o'clock on Monday night. And on Tuesday morning at 7:30 a.m., I received a call that said she's going on life support.
She remained unconscious for days, her sister Michelle by her side. Doctors eventually determined Deb had an invasive form of strep.
I do remember waking up at one point and seeing my hands were bent over, sort of really, and they were black. I remember Michelle having to tell me, Deb, they have to amputate.
She lost both hands and both legs.
I don't think I realized what an independent person I was until this happened.
Before the infection, Deb loved her job as a news editor and producer in Baltimore, but she was ready for retirement. Instead, she found herself working to relearn the simplest things.
But I opened my makeup bag and I said, how can I do this? And, you know, I tried and tried and tried. It was very difficult at first. But then I started to learn little tricks.
Each task painstakingly slow and sometimes frustrating.
Trying to get a good angle to get it.
You want me to get it?
I think I can. See this piece here?
She learned to rely on her sister Michelle, with whom she's been close since childhood, despite a 10-year age difference.
I took care of her. My mother worked, and I took care of her quite a bit.
Gee, thanks, Deb.
Years later, their roles reversed.
Yay!
Together, the sisters celebrate every victory.
I couldn't do this yesterday.
After months of rehab, Deb learned to walk with prosthetics. That gave her back a little of her freedom.
But not having hands is just, it's awful. It's awful. I love to crochet and knit and sew and do crafts with the kids. But there were those nights, you know, when I would just sit there and say, I would cry. I asked Michelle one time, do you think I would have been better off dead? And she brilliantly asked a question with a question and said, do you think you'd be better off dead? Then I thought about it and thought about it, and I thought, no, I'm here for a reason. Something made me fight to stay alive.
She didn't know it then, but 14 months after losing her hands, a new reason to hope at Duke University Hospital.
This is a complex procedure that only few places in the world are able to perform.
But would it work? Deb's story continues.
The woman who is going to donate her hands to me is alive right now and walking around and doesn't know. And I pray every night for her and for her family.
17 months after a severe strep infection forced doctors to amputate Deb Kelly's hands and legs, she's placed on the transplant list to receive 2 new hands.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Duke hand transplant surgeon Dr. Linda Sandalis and a 40-person team will perform Deb's operation as part of a clinical trial.
I know that you got a call today.
I know. We got a call first offer today.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we declined it. You know, it wasn't the perfect match.
The perfect match would come more than 2 months later.
Dr. Sandalis told me she's talked to you already, so you know we have a donor for you.
Yes. When I got the call, I thought, okay, now this is really the beginning of the rest of my life. I know that sounds trite, but it's true.
Deb and her sister arrive at Duke ready for the operation.
I'm so excited.
The first of its kind in North Carolina. After first getting sick on Easter of 2017, her life would change again, this time on Thanksgiving Day.
Our gracious family donated the limbs of their loved one for her.
14 hours later, Deb's sister Michelle gets her first look. Her excitement matched only by Deb's own joy.
Oh, I can push up my glasses. Yay!
Kind of.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Oh, that's exciting. My first task.
There you go.
Pushed up my glasses.
Less than 2 weeks later, she leaves the hospital headed for a rehab facility.
But I have hands that move and that I can feel them. I can feel the muscles. I don't have any feeling yet. That takes a long time. But I have hands.
Hold it. Try to hold those two. Keep them there. Forward the wrist. Lift the fingers. Lift the thumb.
Okay.
Good.
It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, and I'm able to move this.
For the second time in 2 years, she begins months of therapy. But this time, instead of learning to live without hands, she is relearning to live with them.
Bend your fingers. There you go. Keep going. Go, 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 go. Try to hold it. Hold it. Keep it there. Keep it there. Keep it there.
Her entire body strains with the effort to move a finger.
Wow. Nice.
But she embraces each moment, constantly conscious of the reason she is here.
Before I went into the OR, I said a quiet little prayer to myself for the family. You know, terrible thing for them, but, you know, what a wonderful thing they did for me.
And every day she does a bit more.
To just see her, how her life changed, because her life changed. It's not only rewarding for me, but for our entire team.
Her fingernails are growing. So is her confidence.
I am forcing myself to do more. And sometimes I spill water and I drop things and, you know, but it's part of it.
Her perseverance is something that we have all learned from.
And Deb, whose morning routine looked like this not so long ago, finds victory in something as simple
Must layer lipstick
as putting on makeup.
It feels great.
It still isn't easy, but for her,
I need to be independent. I need to be able to do things myself.
it is everything.
I'm just blown
Such
away.
an incredible story.
It is, and you know, Deb says that amazing is a word that's overused, but I think it is perfectly appropriate in this case. It truly is.
And you said her attitude has just been amazing.
Incredible. I mean, from the moment, from what she went through to getting through the surgery, her attitude has taken her through it all.
I have so many questions. Hopefully we'll get those answered.
Something made her fight, and you could see that in her smile. Whatever it was in her smile.
And this is not the end. We are going to continue to follow Deb's journey. Her ultimate goal is driving.
I'm so looking forward to this journey. So, Maggie, thank you for sharing it with us. Our Maggie Newland live down in Garner, where all that hail made for a few scary hours. Maggie.
It did, Angela, and it also did some damage in this driveway here. There were 4 vehicles when the storm hit. All 4 had some type of damage. This RV you see here had its lights knocked off. You can see the car with the windshield shattered. There's glass inside the car as well. These 2 vehicles both have dents across them as well. And if you look at the house, you can see there is damage to the siding. And this all, of course, happened when a hailstorm came through suddenly this afternoon. If you take a look at some video shot by a viewer, you can see what this storm looked like. The hail there, pretty intense. It's falling along with leaves and some debris, really coming down hard. Now, the people we talked to here said the hail at their house was the size of baseballs, and it hit the home so hard they thought it was an explosion. I want you to look at some pictures that Brittany Massengill took. She lives here where we are standing right now. She took them at her home here in Garner. She was here with her mom and her 2-year-old son when they say the storm came suddenly, damaging their home, cars, and an RV.
I kind of grabbed my grandson and was really trying to find somewhere to get. Kind of thought it was a tornado maybe. It really just sounded like bombs just hitting all over the top of the house. Just in a panic, not knowing what was going on, where it came from, because it came so fast.
And when they came outside, they did see a good amount of damage at their house. You can see the gutters there partially ripped off. I can tell you in the back, the screen porch, a lot of the screens are going to have to be replaced as well. They say they've been on the phone with the insurance company, but the good news is insurance should cover things, and it wasn't much worse. We're live in Garner. Maggie Newland, CBS 17 News.
The horrors of the Holocaust, the atrocities most of us can't even imagine, Abe Piasek experienced.
The first hatred I ever saw in my wife was in 1938, in the beginning of 1939.
It was only the beginning. As Jews throughout Europe became targets, Nazi soldiers approached Abe and a friend and asked if they were Jewish.
And I said yes. And the guy took out the pistol and shot my friend in the head.
At 12, he was separated from his parents and sister.
I never saw him again.
He spent the next 5 years in Nazi labor and death camps.
As we were marching, people were falling down. And if the guard saw you falling down, he shot you and you were laying there.
He was 17 when he was freed. For the next 40 years, his memories would haunt him alone.
I didn't talk about it till 1984 or 85. My wife and my kids didn't know anything. They knew I was a survivor. That's all they know. And this is the place I used to work.
Now, at 90, he spends his days telling his story.
It hurts, but people have to know what happened.
He speaks to students and often receives letters of gratitude or even more personal thanks.
I see some of them come over and they put their head on my shoulder and they cry.
Steve Goldberg, who teaches history at Research Triangle High School, says his students will never forget Abe.
I think he made a huge difference in a lot of students' lives.
But he wanted the experience to go beyond a speech.
He said that he had never been to the Holocaust Museum, and I said I was thinking of taking some students.
He started a GoFundMe so Abe and his family could travel to the museum with the class, and donations poured in. While Abe knows the experience won't be easy, he is grateful.
It makes me feel good that they still care about it.
For a world that once showed so much hatred, now showing him so much love.
Yeah.
Wow.
His story is so powerful. It is horrifying, but the survival is so powerful.
I was going to say, an incredible story of survival he's willing to share. Wow.
He is, and that trip is going to take place on Saturday to the Holocaust Museum. And the donations they get for the GoFundMe page, once they cover the cost of the trip, the donations will also go to the Holocaust Museum.